Welcome to the Growing Your Business podcast. This is the show that dives into the big question, what's in it for me, for both the business and its customers? On each episode, we sit down with a business owner or leader to uncover their why, their values, and the stories that drive them to grow their business. Joining me today on the Growing Your Business podcast is my new friend, Joshua Malik with Joshua Tree Experts. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Awesome.
Good to be here, buddy.
Yeah, glad to have you. Well, let's talk about what is Joshua Tree Experts. Tell me about the business.
We are a home service, multi-brand service that provides tree care, lawn care, and pest control services. Mostly residential, but we also do commercial work as well.
Excellent. What sets you apart?
Probably that value. Not a lot of people in our industry are focused on offering three services. So you have tree guys are all over the place, but they just perform tree removal service. When we can roll in the additional service of lawn care, application services, pest control, we're really encompassing the whole outdoor space, and we focus on preservation. It's one thing that I think you're going to see with all Joshua Tree Experts owners that, our focus is we want to preserve properties so we can go back and continue to protect and enhance their value of the landscape.
And that's something that really makes you different.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of people just look at, okay, we can spray this, cut this, and get out of there. You're looking for the longer term.
We are. We're relationship builders.
Yeah.
So when we're meeting homeowners, we're looking at not just doing the initial visit, but we want to know, hey, how can we step on this property 4 or 5 times a year? We can protect your investment, but then we can also get there, year after year and continue to provide that type of service.
So every business is on a journey. How did yours start?
Right. Well, my business started in 2005. And at that time, I had 13 years experience in the industry. I was fresh out of high school and I got into doing tree work. And I think what's really cool, this is my 34th year in the industry. And I feel like I kind of mastered something, Started at the very lowest level as a ground specialist, worked my way up to climbing, crew production, crew leader, got into sales and management before I started my own business. And then I launched Joshua Tree Experts in 2005 out of my residential home, had a 3-car garage, and we started as a general tree care plant healthcare company. So I had a lot of certification development in the first 13 years before I launched my business. And there was something missing within my market, and it was really, an arborist that can have clients experience the professional difference in this industry. It's really this industry alone is made up of a lot of small mom and pop shops. And again, they're not focused on preservation, they're focused on removal services. So I had all these certifications. I worked for some really good companies, and I was really to penetrate my market. And, it took off a lot quicker than I thought it was going to. So, thinking back, man, it's a long time ago, and it's watching where we have evolved over 21 years. It's pretty amazing.
What would you say made it take off? Like what values did you employ? How did you communicate with customers? What made it grow?
I think a lot of different things. It's not just one thing that I did or my team did, what the market offered. I think the culture in the business is always important to me. I think a lot of people talk about culture. Some that don't talk about it, there's a culture and they don't know it, whether it's good or bad. And I think with our culture, it was something that was from day one. My first 2 employees are still with me. So they've watched me grow, and I have employees that have been with me for 20 years, 19 years. And I think it's the one thing that when people visit me at my corporate location, we're sizable, we have 70 people. The long tenureship and the retention of those employees, it's always been in my soul and my gut. And helping them grow professionally by giving them opportunity and sharing the vision of the company and watching them just continue to step up into new positions and honestly crush it is like, it's something that sets us apart because a lot of companies don't have that. It's probably our biggest differentiator that I can say by growing in 21 years is the people and the team that I have are freaking amazing.
So you decided at some point, I should franchise this business.
Yeah, what was I thinking?
What were you thinking? But how does that come to be? You've grown big enough that you're like, I can literally put this business in a box and help other people like me grow a business. Is that the path, or tell me the path that how you franchised out? Like, how does that work?
It's funny. It's like a lot of people say, hey, what's your vision? What's your 10-year vision? It's like, I don't have a 10-year vision. I think being in business and understanding entrepreneurship, it's like you have these nuggets that you want to get along the way, because franchising was not one of the nuggets in 2005. It was, I remember 2005, it's like, I just want to get to a 7-person company. I know what kind of money I can make in this business. And we were there in like 6 months. And it was like, all right. So we kept growing. It was like, all right, let's get into a commercial building. Got into a commercial building. 2017, it's like, let's offer lawn care. Let's get into penetrate the market. Let's get more revenue. Let's build the team out. Well, 2020 is let's get into pest control. And then I launched a franchise prototype office. It was like, all right, I want to know what it's like to have to penetrate a market we don't have no brand exposure in, what it's like to recruit, build a marketing plan in there. And that was kind of the steps in the franchise. I've always been involved in a lot of industry organizations. I go to a lot of conferences. And in 2019, that's when it popped in my head. I was at a conference, and it was a lot of companies that were growing internally, and it was more of a lawn care focused conference. And in tree care, you need a lot of heavy equipment. You think about forestry trucks, chippers, stump grinders, front end loaders, bucket trucks, spider lifts. There's so many different pieces of equipment, but they're expensive. Yeah. You know, you can buy a truck for $250,000, even more. So I had this vision of, well, if I had to grow internally, I need a lot of commercial lending support, or I needed a lot of investors. And I didn't want to give up control of the business. I wanted to control it in a manner and grow it that I wanted to, and not have it dictated by other people and investors. So I figured, well, if I can franchise, I can get entrepreneurial type mindship to come in, invest in the business, and help grow the business together. And that's where I kind of did some research for about a year and a half. And really, I got together with an advisory team that focuses just on franchising. They basically look at your model and say, are you at the position where you can franchise? And fortunately, we were. We had really good numbers. We've already started building processes and systems in 2019, when I was like, I'm going to do this, and I want to do it in a year and a half, 2 years. I started developing a team. We've already had the process and systems. We just didn't have them documented. I was like, what makes this business function the way it does? So I hired some dude that's still with me that's super good on documenting things and putting them in a systems type manner. And I started having him build that out. When I got with the advisory team, they looked at us and said, you have a very specific model. There's not many businesses alone that can offer 3 businesses in one, like you're a multi-brand. In franchising, there's companies that just franchise tree work. There's companies that just franchise lawn care. There's companies that just franchise pest control. So our value proposition is you're getting 3 businesses in one. So, we put an operations manual together, which was a 280 document that's very specific to Joshua Tree experts. And, we write something what's called an FDD, a franchise disclosure document, that talks about how much is the investment model, what are the responsibilities of the franchisor, what are the responsibilities of the franchisee. At the end of the day, this is what you can make. Here's how we sell off what they call units, territories. We do it by population. This is what it costs. And thinking back, it's a lot of hard work.
Oh, sure.
It is. Yeah. It's a long-term game.
Yep.
But we do really good at the corporate office, and that's really helps me fuel the franchise system.
Stay with us. The Growing Your Business podcast will return right after this. Ready to amplify your brand's voice? At Blue Mike Studios, we transform your ideas into captivating podcasts and videos. Whether you're launching your own show or guest starring on ours, we've got you covered. From recording and editing to social media promotion. With state-of-the-art 4K video and crystal clear audio, your content will shine. We offer guest packages on our podcasts and offer segments from the show for you to share. Or let us help you build your own branded podcast with custom strategy, branding, and full production support. Visit BlueMikeStudios.com today and let your voice be heard. Please check our show notes for sponsorship links and additional details. Now, back to the Growing Your Business podcast with Buddy Broyles. Everybody likes a good success story.
Yeah.
You've been telling one, but now tell me one from the perspective of a franchisee, someone that saw your mission and vision and said, I want to buy into that. I want to build a business myself?
I'm lucky that I have several of them. I do. We've just had, this past year in 2025, we had some of our partners finally finish their first year.
Yeah.
And in franchising, it's all about, okay, how do I go make my first dollar of revenue? How do I get to break even? And then how do I become profitable? And every entrepreneur is very different. And if you're familiar with the DISC profile,
Yes.
I like dominant, influential people. And they seem to do very well in this industry. And, doing well is getting to the first dollar, breaking even, and becoming profitable as quickly as possible. And we have many owners in many different markets that understand that. Understand the hard work too. I think there's a misconception with Franchise and Buddy where people think it's a business in a box and they treat it like a stocks or bond where it's like, I'm going to invest in it and it's going to run itself. It's like, well, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And the franchisor does not run the business for you.
Right.
We give you support through training and, we have a contact center, we have a recruiter, we have a marketing team, we have a full franchise systems team. We're here to support you, but we cannot run a business. As we are in Dallas, my corporate headquarters is in, just outside Philadelphia. We can't run the business for you, but we can continue to build on these systems and processes to help you launch. Franchise partners are, again, they come in all different shapes and boxes. None of them have tree care experience. None have lawn care experience. None have pest control experience. And a lot of people say, hey, wouldn't you want to do these, what they call conversions, where you take a tree care company under? I'm like, no, I don't want to do that because we're very specific on how we run the business. And you can't treat an old dog, teach an old dog new tricks, they say, right?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want an experienced tree person coming in that maybe is set on a way that they do and they don't want to follow our process. Because it's like our systems and our processes work. That's why you're buying into it. Don't veer from that.
Right.
So when we have partners that can follow that very specifically, it works really good. And it's getting those like-minded people that done that. So we have, you're going to be interviewing one of our guests, and we're here because we're going to highlight him. He's a stud.
Yeah.
Scott Smith. He's a stud.
And that's who you're looking for. Is you're looking for a very specific personality type at a specific place in their business journey, like
Absolutely.
You mentioned. Yeah.
Yeah. Franchise, and a lot of franchise companies you have a franchise fee. So when you sell it, they owe the franchisor X amount of dollars. And then you're basically, they're paying royalty, brand fund fee, contact center fee, tech fees to continue operating the business. You have to get like-minded people with you that understand that. And it's like a marriage. Yeah. We sign a 10-year contract. We're in it together for 10 years. Yep. So let's make it work together. Let's make sure we're on the same page. We understand each other. And I want the personalities that are much like me, that are confident. Let's go kick some ass.
Yeah.
I want to grow this business aggressively. I want to make big goals. I don't want to make small goals. I want to grow a really good team. I want to focus on training that team, and I want to focus on client relations. That's what I want to do.
Terrific. You mentioned Scott Smith. He's a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And obviously a franchisee of yours, and he's literally in my neck of the woods. We're here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Tell me about the journey with Scott. How'd you find each other? How's it going? Where are you in that time?
So Scott came in the franchise system. A potential franchisee can be looking for a business, and they don't know what type of business they want. So there's consultants out there that are specific to franchise and say, hey, I can show you 2, 3, 4, 5 different franchise concepts. They may do a meeting with Scott, a one-on-one. It's like, let's talk for an hour. Here, go through your own kind of DISC profile. They call it something a little bit different. But let's kind of like take this pool of 4,000 franchise systems out there and nail them down to the top 2 or 3. Is it home service? Is it the outdoor home service space? Is it tree care possibly? Is it siding? There's all these different ones out there. And Scott came to us through a network of consultants that we use that introduces us. And then we took them through a discovery process, which is about a 6 to 9 week process, depending on the time frame of how quickly the franchise partner can move through it. Eventually, they come to what we call a confirmation day, where we invite them up to our corporate headquarters. We do a dinner at night where they get to meet the entire franchise team, and it's just more personality. Are we clicking well together? Yeah, let's talk some business stuff. And then the next day, we're going to the operations center. We're going out to job sites, and then we're doing some presentations with some department heads where they understand what they're getting into. Yeah. Eventually, we sign an agreement, and then it's go time. We go through a 120 day onboarding process. During that, we're setting up the business. You're getting your entity. You're building out your marketing plan. We're ordering the equipment from specified vendors. We're, dictating launch dates. We're starting to recruit on the back end so you can get your crew. So it's a very healthy 120 days. 45 days prior to launch, they come back to my corporate headquarters. They go through a training process with the entire team for a week. We send them back down. They start penetrating the market. And our concept is different in the sense that we need to build backlog work. We're not a brick and mortar, and we're not a storefront where it's like, hey, we're open this day and we are servicing customers. We need to service customers well beyond that, where it's like we need to start the sales cycle well before. We need to have work that day one when the crew starts. We have plenty of work that they can start feeding through.
Yeah. Brilliant.
So what's unique about Scott was he came through. He's had marketing experience. He had sales experience. These are some of our strongest owners, I will say that. He had no tree care, lawn care, pest control. And we don't launch a system with all three services at once. We launch specifically with tree care and plant health care, which is tree and shrub fertilizing, insect disease management on tree and shrubs. And we want you to learn that business for the year. Year two, the goal is continued investment in people, vehicles, equipment, launch the additional services of plant or lawn care and the pest control. Let's start going and attacking the clients that you've built, those 2,000 average clients over the first year. Let's start penetrating them, getting them on these services. It's another marketing plan. So there's a lot more to it. But Scott, what's unique about that is these salespeople is like, if you're a quick learner, tree care is not rocket science.
Yeah.
I never went to school. Academic, I suck. I'm just not a strong academic person. I'm good with my street smarts. I'm good with, my business. Yeah. I learned from hands-on.
Yeah.
And that's why I went the path into a business like this. And if you're willing to learn and read and listen, and you can do really, really well. So when you talk to him, he sounds like he's an arborist, a veteran arborist. And he's much smarter, to be honest with you, than people that I've known that are in the industry for 10 years that just want to be tree cutters. Yeah, they know the equipment and they know how to remove a tree, but they don't understand the growth habits. They don't understand tree development. They don't understand soil root relations. So when you get someone that can understand that, they can sell the service, they can explain it to clients very, very well. And sales in our industry, it's the most important thing. If you have sales, your crew is when you have the issue of trying to get the work done on time, it's a good issue.
Yeah.
But if you don't have the sales, that's the biggest issue.
There's no work to do on time.
There's no work to do on time.
Interesting. What's your favorite thing about your business? Like what's when you wake up in the morning, you stretch and say, this is it. What is that?
I love being outdoors.
Yeah.
I do.
Mm.
Right now, a lot has changed for me over the years from
sure.
the evolution of the business and being super heavily involved in building a corporate location. I've been so fortunate on building a really good corporate team where I have a general manager, I have an operations manager, HR manager, I have department heads underneath that it flows really well. And I have a lot of buy-in from that team, which has really allowed me to chase my dream of franchising the business. So my evolution has changed so much over the years, and being able to come out to different locations. We have 25 locations in 16 states right now. It's incredible to know like what a team can do and how well we can grow and how well we can grow together. And, coming into Dallas, I have 3 partners in the Dallas area, and, we're all getting together for dinner tonight. And it's just being able to build a culture within the franchise system is something I enjoy doing. And ain't nothing better than going out and seeing your people kick ass all over the country.
Yeah. That's
and watching
really
different
exciting.
Locations do really well and perform really well, and building those relationships is something I really appreciate.
For people who have been listening or watching, if you're on YouTube, what's the best way to reach out to you and learn more about your business? How do you like people to contact and learn more about Joshua Tree Experts?
Yeah, we have 2 different websites.
Okay.
JoshuaTreeExperts.com is our consumer website. You can go there and you really get an idea of what Joshua Tree Experts is. TreeCareFranchising.com is the website where if you're listening and this is something of interest that you would want to pursue and maybe become a franchise partner, you can go there. Joshua, Malik are on LinkedIn. Got a lot of people on there that interact with me as well.
For parting thoughts, I'd like you to look back to younger Joshua. And what would you say to the others of you that are out there? They're starting their career. They have the same mission and vision and values that they have, but they don't see the path laid out in front of them that's now behind you and continues. Yeah. What would you say to them?
You know, you make a lot of decisions as an entrepreneur, and you make a lot that are not right because you don't know. It's okay. Don't beat yourself up over it. You know, pick yourself up and make quick decisions. This is a business that is evolving quickly, and when you have to make tough decisions, you got to make them, but you can't beat yourself up. And I think and don't compare yourself to anyone else. That's one thing I've learned. I wasted a lot of time comparing myself to other people. It's like, no, don't do that. You got your own vision. You know who you are. You know what value is to you. We have core values that we stick to, and we talk about them all the time. It's like, be who you are. And just drive. Just keep driving the business. Don't give up. Keep getting up. You're going to get kicked down. You got to get back up.
Sure. That's wonderful. Well, thanks for coming on the Growing Your Business show and sharing all of that. It's as an entrepreneur myself, it's just music to my ears to hear the success that you've had. Thanks for coming on and sharing that with us.
Buddy, I appreciate the time and I appreciate the audience.
Thank you for joining us today on the Growing Your Business podcast. Please see the show notes for links to our sponsors, our social media, and to learn more about today's guest.